Forgiveness, it's one of those things we all talk about, but honestly, do we really understand what it means? Today, let's dive into an incredible piece of wisdom that gets to the heart of forgiveness. It's from Imam Ali, a major figure in Islamic history. He said, "The most worthy of pardon are those most capable of inflicting punishment." Now, what does that mean? Let's break it down. Most worthy, or in Arabic, awla nas. This signifies the people who are most deserving, or let's say, the most qualified to offer pardon. And the wisdom here is tied directly to power. It's saying that real forgiveness comes from a place of strength, not weakness. Someone who's in a position to punish, to retaliate, but chooses not to. That's where forgiveness gains its depth. Think about it for a second. If someone forgives simply because they have no other choice, like they can't punish even if they wanted to, is that really forgiveness? Probably not. That's more like resignation, right? But when you have full control, when you hold all the power to act, and instead you choose grace, that's extraordinary. It's like you're rising above the situation, going beyond just what's fair or just. And here's where it gets really powerful. Forgiveness in this sense is more than just a moral decision. It's a statement of mastery. You're showing that you're not controlled by anger or the need for vengeance. This kind of forgiveness elevates your moral authority. It's not just about justice anymore. It's about achieving something higher, something greater than fairness. Throughout history, we've seen incredible examples of leadership that embody this idea. Leaders who use their authority not to crush, but to heal and unite. It happens in politics, in business, even in personal relationships. You know, when a leader or someone in power chooses forgiveness, it changes how people see them. It shifts perceptions and fosters trust in a way that power or punishment never could. Let me take you to one of the most powerful examples of forgiveness in history, the conquest of Mecca. Imagine this: Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, returns to Mecca as a victor. The same city where he and his followers had faced years of persecution, humiliation, and even threats to their lives. Now he had every right, every reason really, to seek retribution, to punish those who had wronged him and his people. But what does he do? He forgives them, all of them, without exception. He says, "Go, for you are free." Just like that, the possibility of vengeance disappears, replaced by mercy. That act wasn't just an extraordinary display of compassion. It was a deliberate choice to focus on unity and reconciliation instead of division. I mean, how often do we see that kind of leadership today? Then there's Imam Ali, another profound example. This one is even more personal, more gut-wrenching. Towards the end of his life, when he's attacked by an assassin, he knows who did it. He could have, in that moment of betrayal, exacted his revenge. No one would have blamed him for it, but he doesn't. Instead, he chooses to pardon the man who tried to kill him. He leaves justice to God. Can you imagine forgiving someone who's literally tried to end your life? It's almost inconceivable, right? What these examples teach us is that forgiveness isn't just about letting go. It's about rising above. It's about recognizing that mercy, when you hold all the power, is the ultimate act of strength. It transforms the narrative. Instead of perpetuating cycles of harm, these acts broke them entirely, creating a space for healing and for something new to emerge. And here's a question for you to think about. What would the world look like if we chose mercy over vengeance more often? How different would our conflicts, whether they're between nations, communities, or even within our own families, turn out if we embodied that kind of moral strength? So we've talked about forgiveness as a strength and seen how it plays out in the lives of some of history's greatest figures. But now let's ask, why does forgiveness matter so much, ethically and spiritually? Why do teachings like those from Islamic tradition place forgiveness above justice, even though justice is such a powerful virtue in itself? You see, justice is about balance. It's making sure that wrongs are made right, and that's important, no doubt. But forgiveness goes further. It asks, what if we didn't just balance the scales, but instead broke them entirely and showed mercy? Ethically, it's this idea of reaching beyond what's fair towards something that's, well, extraordinary. Something only people with a deep internal strength can achieve. Spiritually, it's even deeper. Forgiveness connects to the concept of self-mastery, which is so central to many traditions, including Islam. When you forgive, especially when you have the power not to, it's like you're breaking free of those emotions that can chain you: anger, resentment, even pride. You're saying, I'm not letting these control me. And that kind of freedom, that spiritual height, it's incredible, isn't it? Now let's bring this down to earth, to real life. A listener wrote in, I promised I'd share her story. She'd been wronged badly by someone she trusted, someone she considered family. For years she held on to that hurt, felt like forgiving would mean letting them off the hook, letting them win. But eventually she chose to forgive, not for their sake, but for her own. And she said, and I quote, "It felt like I could finally breathe again." Doesn't that just show how forgiveness can create a kind of peace that justice can't always reach? It also makes me think, you might have stories like this in your life too, maybe something small, or maybe something huge. Times when forgiving someone felt impossible at first, but in the end, gave you a kind of strength or clarity you didn't expect. Those moments can teach us a lot, not just about others, but about ourselves. And so here we are at the end of this journey through forgiveness. What have we learned? That forgiveness isn't a weakness. It's a power. It's not about losing something. It's about gaining perspective, gaining peace, and ultimately, gaining moral greatness. So next time you're faced with the choice to forgive or not, ask yourself, what kind of strength might you unlock if you do? And on that note, we'll wrap up for today. It's been a pleasure sharing this space with you, diving into a topic as profound as this. Take care, reflect on what forgiveness might mean in your own life, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.